Oh, the chair recognizes the honorable member for Kalani.
Had me confused. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, before I get into my debate, I noticed we're moving into the election season, and quite a number of areas are having their streets resurfaced. Kalani is also a part. Kalani is a part of the Bahamas. We pay our taxes.
Yes.
We pay real property tax.
Yes.
We pay, and you double it on us. We pay VAT and whatever taxes are available. And if we don't pay, you shut us down quick. Only thing we ask is that we have some roadway to get to our homes. That's not difficult. I was driving my wife the other day in Angliston. She was visiting her home. And I fell asleep. I fell asleep while she was driving. Madam Speaker, I thought I was in the US I-95. But then I woke up, I saw all the homes which I'm familiar with. I was in Angliston. All I'm asking, give us a little of what you give in Angliston. Even Tall Pines are here getting new roadways. What is it? Southern Shores? Southern Shores. New roadway. So, the Westwood Villa area, yes, Madam Speaker, they should have a heart, because I do have a soul.
Where is your heart?
The Westwood Villa area, Hampshire, Devonshire, Yorkshire, those streets need resurfacing badly. It cannot take any more patches. Resurface. The same thing applies to South Ocean Boulevard, the area especially near the old South Ocean Hotel, and Bohemia West, just off Bay Street. Now, I understand it's political season. So if you want to give your credit to the PLP candidate, I don't care. I don't care. We only want the roads repaired so that we can enjoy the comfort like Angliston and the others. That's all.
That's all. Same thing in Senegal.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to briefly state that the road works that is happening in Angliston that feels like I-95, and the road works that's happening in Tall Pines,
Southern Shores.
Southern Shores,
Very timely, Senator Elizabeth.
throughout the not just New Providence, but throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It's an aggressive road paving program. Even in Kalani, the West Bay Street alignment, that's in Kalani, right? West Bay Street alignment.
West Bay Street so long.
But ain't that in Kalani? But Madam Speaker, this is a massive flood mitigation program.
Yeah, but the sea beach area, yes.
Okay, so all I want to say is Kalani's not left behind. That's a multi-million-dollar program there to remediate flood, to put a brand new road. Not only that, the beach for the residents in Kalani will now have proper parking so they can enjoy the beach, and you could go out there and enjoy yourself out there, Kalani. But the note is taken, and I will ensure that we add those to the paving program so the candidate for the PLP will be able to boast about these beautiful roads that he agitated for in Kalani.
I'm glad you mentioned the beach. Goodman's Bay is a challenge. Goodman's Bay is a challenge. Cars still racing within the confines of the park, endangering our residents, especially the children. And the beach is being commercialized. We do not want Goodman's Bay to end up like Paradise Island. That's the public's beach. Let it remain in the hands of the public. Spain and those were having such challenges, you know. They had to step and introduce regulations so as their residents would have access to their own parks and their museums because they were being taken over. Don't let us fall in that category. But Madam Speaker, I rise today on behalf of the people of that great constituency in the West, Kalani, to contribute to the debate on the resolution to borrow $1.86 million from the African Export-Import Bank. And the purpose of the loan is to provide funding to a government-owned company for development of an integrated Afro-Caribbean marketplace in Grand Bahama. The goal of this marketplace is to boost trade, investment, and connectivity between Africa and the Caribbean. I support the resolution. The timing of it, however, is quite curious. The governing party has selected all of its candidates for the next general election. The governing party has also launched its official campaign. An election appears to be imminent. We are in the last days of the New Day administration. The PLP is now trying to do all it can to make itself look good and gain a few votes before the people go to the polls. Make us look good and fix Kalani roads. The governing party knows it has a problem in Grand Bahama. After nearly 4.5 years in office, the PLP has had few successes on our second most populated island. There is no new airport. Grand Lucayan has not been developed despite multiple announcements, public relations stunts, and big talk. The people of Grand Bahama know that they can't believe anything the PLP promises for Grand Bahama. People in West End are still waiting for the empty promises the PLP made in West End during the by-election. The major carnival project on the island was a deal set in motion by my administration. There will be no new airport during this term. Grand Lucayan won't be developed during this term. The PLP has long talked about this marketplace on Grand Bahama. The PLP is a party of big promises, big excuses, and spectacular failure. They announce plenty and delivers very little. They are good, Madam Speaker, at groundbreaking stunts and ceremonies that go nowhere. Remember years ago how they had a groundbreaking ceremony for a new straw market in Nassau right before the election. This is who they are, but the Bahamian people know them well. Madam Speaker, here we are in the last days of PLP in office, and now they're rushing in here trying to get backing for a loan to fund another project. This initiative too will not be finished in this term. The PLP has not done enough for the people of Grand Bahama. You know, Madam Speaker, as I walk throughout the community of Kalani campaigning, and as I go and visit families in the Baintown, Farm Road area, Grove, and just talking to families and friends, they are all saying the same thing. All. South, Central, and West. They're all saying the same thing. And what they're saying is they don't want either party. They don't want to vote for either of you. So I think this is a great opportunity for independent candidates. Great. The independent candidate will speak. They are the voices of the people.
Wow. This is the bigger one.
They are not governed by party politics. They are not controlled by any whip. They speak for the people. So if the government say they are in favor of certain things, there may be members of the government who may not be in favor. But the whip, they must say yes, they are. But the independent is the voice of the people. And the independent will speak for the people. And what they must understand, Madam Speaker, what they must understand is the independent has all the benefits of every member in this parliament. They can bring laws, they can bring legislation, they can ask for committees, all the powers. They must understand that within this power, within this parliament, we are all equal. And there are a lot of people out there who may want to go independent. This is their opportunity. Because West, Central, and South are saying they want neither. They want none of you. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker. No, I have at least another month to talk. I have a lot of time to talk. Right-thinking Bahamians support attempting a marketplace on the island. But they, the PLP, wait until the last moments of the term before trying to finalize a loan. If the government was more serious about the market, they could have cut their luxury travel bill, that travel budget, and their budget for PLP consultants. They could have used that money to build a new market at least 2 years ago. Madam Speaker, Grand Bahama residents have serious concerns about the future of the island under this government. A media house reported this week that the Grand Lucayan deal collapsed and that the government was looking at other options. This caused the government and proposed developer to issue statements saying that the deal is still on. The proposed developer even said that within the next 2 weeks, announcements will be made about the way forward. The speculation about the collapse of the deal is understandable. But the PLP administration announced last year that the property was to be sold to a subsidiary of Concord, Wiltshire for $120 million. We've seen that, not seen that money yet.
Where the money, Zuma?
In the bank, man.
In what? And in the bank? Must be, anyway, now what I want to say, must be a different kind of.
Madam Speaker, they had a big party in Grand Bahama celebrating that deal.
They sure did.
The chair recognizes the
They
honourable
sure
member
did.
for Fort South.
Big party.
I don't want to interrupt the honourable member Kalani in terms of his justification of independence versus party candidates. But the honourable member quoted from a newspaper about events which, about speculation. You quoted from the newspaper. You quoted from the newspaper, and I think the honourable member is well aware of Rule 33, is that you have to adopt it. You have to adopt it as your own. And I think we all know that that report was totally unsubstantiated, no sources or anything. So I don't know how responsible it would be to adopt something, but since you introduce it, you either withdraw that quote, because it's very clear. But he shall not quote from newspapers unless he adopts such quotation as his own words, and such are relevant to the business under the debate. So, do you adopt that report as your own?
Let me say what I said. A media house reported this week that the Grand Lucayan deal collapsed and that the government was looking at other options. That was reported. I adopt what was reported. Okay? Now, Madam Speaker, as I go on, there was plenty of food and drinks, and since then, however, little to nothing has happened at the resort. The remaining staff has struggled to get paid on time.
Can't pay the people.
Even though PLP consultants, some with more than 2 contracts, getting their big money on time. Some staff members went to the media to complain about not getting their hard-earned wages. Now we hear in the press that the government plans to terminate the workers. The media and members of Grand Bahama community have called on the government to fully disclose what is going on with the Grand Lucayan. Something clearly went wrong from the moment the deal was announced to now. Was the developer unable to get funding for the project's question? Was the government supposed to build the airport as part of the deal? The public, Madam Speaker, just do not know the facts as to what is happening with this important project. This is the same kind of secrecy and lack of accountability that is typical of this administration on everything from so-called energy reform and the expensive jet the government flew on to Africa. Madam Speaker, this marketplace idea is in some ways just like the Grand Lucayan. PLP talks about a proposal. They make announcements about it. If I have time, I can address that Obama and shut the 2 of y'all up right here. Shut. I am tired of hearing Pinewood.
Pine Ridge.
And what's this?
Pine Ridge.
Oh, Pine Ridge.
Yeah, Pine Ridge.
I know this. West Grand Bahama?
Yeah.
Or it's North Africa?
No,
I can take 3 one time. Tired of y'all. They make announcements about it, Madam Speaker. Nothing happens. Then they try to save face at the last minute to try and get something off the ground. Then the pattern is repeated. Grand Bahama needs focused leadership. For example, there's no good excuse for nearly the entire term expiring and there being no new airport in Grand Bahama.
None.
The PLP has made so many statements and announcements about the airport, and yet we still do not have a completed facility. This is a major and spectacular failure for the Prime Minister. He was expected to get this done this term. He has miserably failed at the task. See, I'm not going to say much about the airport. I have the greatest respect for the member for Exuma and Ragged Island. So I won't address the airport today. All right? After all this failure on Grand Bahama, I was surprised to hear the Prime Minister make yet another big promise to the island he cannot fulfill this term. This is the same man who likes to blame others for his mistakes. He is not known for taking responsibility for much. He blames others for his failure. Last month, the Prime Minister said he signed a MOU with Emera that would pave the way for the government to eventually assume control of the Grand Bahama Power Company. The Prime Minister says he wants Grand Bahama to have lower electricity rates. The problem was that his announcement of the so-called deal was apparently premature. The company's CEO had to come out and say no final deal had been reached and that discussions were ongoing. This was embarrassing to the government. What we see here from this PLP administration is a pattern when it comes to Grand Bahama. Clearly, there has never been a detailed plan for the island. What we have witnessed is ad hoc governance at its worst. Big statements have been made, big promises have been made, big announcements had been made, yet very, very little had been delivered. They're not building on progress. Instead, they're trying to dig out of their failure. That is why many are skeptical about this proposed Afro-Caribbean marketplace. Listen, Kalani can be here. And I will be here representing Kalani. I don't know about some of you, huh? Some from both sides will go. There will be replacements. I can't say who those replacements will be yet. Only God can answer that question. The PLP is not building on progress, Madam Speaker. Instead, they're trying to dig out of their failures. That is why many are skeptical about this proposed Afro-Caribbean marketplace. The announcement about it and then rushing in here to borrow money at the last minute follows a pattern of trying to seduce Grand Bahama voters.
Trying to seduce.
If a proper analysis is done, and this is important, if a proper analysis is done, it would come back with the finding that there have been few, y'all listening? Few accomplishments under the PLP during this term. And during my term, Madam Speaker, as Prime Minister, in spite of Irma, in spite of Dorian, and in spite of the pandemic, the party's record may have been silent, but the accomplishments, just to name a few accomplishments, in spite of those challenges, UB, BTVI, and Barmsey were made free. Every student coming from the Bahamas, from the Family Islands to any of those institutions were given $500 subsidy for accommodation. I would hope that now would be increased to $700 as a result of the cost of living. Preschool has expanded, giving opportunities for many Bahamians to attend preschool. Government subdivisions have been declared through legislation tax-free zone. Affordable Homes Act 2018. The inner city was declared tax-free zone to be expanded to, and the amendment was already made. It was only a matter of bringing the legislation here. To be expanded, St. Barnabas, Angliston, parts of Fox Hill, parts of Camp Road, parts of Fort Charlotte, and Gambia. But what did you do? First thing, you came into this parliament and you canceled the tax-free zone for the inner city. You canceled it. But you didn't cancel Bay Street. Bay Street's still tax-free. But you canceled my brother zone. You canceled my auntie zone. All right? SPDC was introduced, and was our intention to increase SPDC, Small Business Development Centers, to $50 million per year, $250 million over 5 years, to assist the young people, entrepreneurs, orange economy, etc. A number of infrastructure occurred. The Nassau Cruise Port, that beautiful structure there. The South Eleuthera Cruise Port. South Eleuthera, it had to be started, eh? 100-meter, the 100-meter race is never won unless somebody starts. Nah, you know. Then, in Andres, Madam Speaker, in Andres, in spite of all the challenges, in Andres, the bridge at London Creek was built. Bridge and extensive dredging in Stanyard Creek to replace the 60-year-old collapsing relic. Roads in Central Andres, roads in South Andres, gymnasium in South Andres. In Grand Bahama, New Smiths Point seawall, extensive repair to dilapidated Supreme Court building, complete refurbishment to decaying post office, island-wide road paving, seawall in Mangrove Key, dredging pier area in Mangrove Key, and renovate docking facility. Madam Speaker, in Long Island, new bridge to Newton Key, began new road paving works, Monument Road, developed plans for new airport, and successfully tendered project in Spanish Wells. Modern new bridge to Russell Island, extensive road paving in Abaco, miles of road work, Ernest Dane Highway.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for Freetown.
You just troubled.
Madam Speaker, my point of order is simple. Does Kalani not understand that Marco City and his crew have repudiated all of the works that he has done?
Parliamentary language.
As what?
Repudiated is not parliamentary language. Repudiated is a simple word. And in case Barnabas doesn't understand it, repudiated is like running away, like Bob Marley says.
We said that.
Running and running and running away, but you cannot run away from yourself. That's in James. But does Kalani understand, Madam Speaker,
Well, you've got all kind of problems
that
with Freetown,
all that he has now articulated, being in his term, that Marco City and the rest of them are not acknowledging when they say that he is not worthy of a nomination for the FNM, because he is articulating all of this stuff that he says he has done, but the Bahamian public will know that Marco City and the FNM has said he is not worthy to be renominated for Kalani. And so whereas we feel for him, Madam Speaker, we feel for him. I'm in your corner, Kalani. I don't know why they're doing this to you, Kalani. If I were Marco City, I would give you the nomination. But that's not within my power. But Kalani, you're reciting things that you say should have recommended you to receive a nomination for the FNM for Kalani, but they did not give them that to you. And so my point of order, Madam Speaker, is that since their side has said that all of what Kalani has said didn't recommend him for nomination for them, then, Madam Speaker, he is misleading the public by saying this is all good works, because if it was good works, Marco City would have recognized it and would have given him the nomination for Kalani. But Marco City did not, Madam Speaker, and so by him standing up and advancing this as good works when Marco City did not recognize it, and St. Barnabas did not recognize it as good works, he should desist from this list.
Thank you, honorable member. And I will,
Madam Speaker,
we have the word crew replaced with members, okay?
Madam Speaker,
I was on parliamentary.
I was only pointing out, thank you very much, Freetown. I know. I was only pointing out to my people, look at the camera, and I went with you all. I was pointing out to the West, no, they watching me, I was pointing out that in spite of Irma, Dorian, and the pandemic, we were successful in a lot of projects. And with you had no catastrophic disasters and did very minimal. That's the point. That's the point. Now, I could go through and name a lot more, but I take your point, so I'll move on. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker. The economy began to rebound. Let me finish quick because I want to deal with you too. The economy began to rebound when we left office. The pandemic was nearing an end and the economy was starting to open up. The PLP rode the wave of this natural opening up. There was growth with the tourists returning and businesses fully engaging. Instead of focusing on doing the Bayman people and doing for the Bayman people, they focused on taking care of their own. There's been more than $250 million spent on consultants. Many millions.
The chair recognizes the honorable member for Freetown.
Madam Speaker, you know, I don't understand why Kalani is, as the English say, batting the ground of people who deserted him. But when he says that we opened up as they opened up, I remember quite vividly when we were opening up, they said we were opening up haphazardly. We were reckless. And we were reckless. And so to me that means, Madam Speaker, they would not have opened up as we opened up. And that is just plain. But quite clearly, Madam Speaker, what Kalani must confront is that what we did was not ordinary. Because if it were, we would not have been described as being extraordinary. What's the word that the foreign white people use? Remarkable in what we did. And so I understand the problem Kalani has, that he is defending his legacy when nobody else on his side is defending his legacy. And that's not a shame on him. That is a shame on Marco City, on St. Barnabas, on St. Anne's, on Long Island, on East Grand Bahama, that they seek to benefit from the work of Kalani, that they seek to benefit from, but then seek not to give him the credit. Ingratitude is the worst character defense that character form that anyone could ever have. And if I were on that side, at least I would acknowledge that my leader at the time, if I'm saying that we were all right, you know, Kalani, I would say, I would fight your ground for you. I would stand with you and say, you did well, and we did well. But I would never say that we should not stand with you at all. And that's what they're saying about you, Kalani. They're saying that they must walk away from you. And that is the problem. No, but that is the problem that you have, Kalani. You trying to support them and they ain't supporting you. And that is the problem that I have with your contribution. That it is, Madam Speaker, misleading because Kalani is being kinder to them than they are being to him.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for Sinai.
I'd ask you, Madam Speaker, if you could ask Freetown to stay until the member for Kalani actually finishes his contribution. I'm sure he'll be wrapping up now that he's arrived in the House halfway through the day. This honourable member has on multiple times defended the track record of the past administration and previous administrations. I've even highlighted the fact that the bridge was built in Spanish Wells. I think it was most recently when we did the blue carbon credits. I went through an entire listing. So I'm not sure which side of the bed Freetown woke up on or even which bed he woke up in today. But just let Kalani,
Honourable member.
finish his contribution, please.
Honourable member, now that is out of order. Don't do that. And I will have that stricken from the record. The chair recognizes the honourable member for Freetown.
Sinan's worked with me, so I understand why I understand why he says that. But Madam Speaker, through you, I would advise Sinan's. I'm much older now. And what I would say, Madam Speaker, is simply this. I did not see Sinan's when they denied Kalani a nomination, standing up and saying to his leadership that Kalani should have a nomination. I didn't hear any of them on that side stand up for Kalani, who in fact, and I'm not being gracious to him, but he gave all of them an opportunity. And what I find disturbing, and the Bahamian people should find disturbing, is a man who gave you an opportunity. You ought not to kick him to the curb just like that. Because if you do that to him, who activated your career, imagine what you will do to people who had nothing to do with you. I bear no brief for Kalani, but over the last couple of months, what I have found very disturbing is that people who have Kalani has empowered, who Kalani has given life to, have determined that they're going to put him on the scrap heap, and they run on with it. And Madam Speaker, if I seem impassioned, it's because I'm a family island man. And the one thing you're supposed to do is recognize and acknowledge your elders. And I ain't calling Kalani old, right? But the one thing that happens, this is a man, none of them, the thing that amazed me, Madam Speaker, and if I may have your thing, nobody says that he doesn't do his job, you know. Everybody says he does excellently where he was, but they wanted to consign him to the scrap heap of history. That's what Marco City says. That's what Simbanaba says. And the only thing I'm saying, Madam Speaker, is that the Bahamian people, when they evaluate them, should evaluate how they're dealing with Kalani before they determine how they deal with them.
Thank you, honourable member. The chair recognizes the honourable member for Sinai.
It's clear that pressure is very tall in Freetown. Today, he is here not promoting his party's record over the last term, but now saying, no, actually the F&M term in the last administration was quite exceptional, and he's agreeing with the accomplishments of the last F&M administration. And that is exactly Kalani's point. Kalani is saying the PLP administration has achieved very little. These are all the things that were achieved in the last administration. The last administration he led, and Monroe is now standing up 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6, 7 times before we end tonight, talking about the great things that were done in the last administration. It boggles my mind, Madam Speaker, but what got me to stand up just now was that he was making assertions that he was not aware of the business of the F&M when the decision was made not to offer a candidacy. I mean, the gentleman was a DNA candidate. He ran against the PLP. He's now a PLP candidate, and now he's in the House begging to no F&M business. Choose your party, Freetown, because the members of Freetown will choose their candidate and their MP in the next election. And as I said, pressure is tall, Madam Speaker.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for Freetown.
Because Sinan suggests that I lauded them. I did not laud them. What I said very simply is, Kalani is standing up, and to his credit, Kalani is advancing what he says is his record. And I don't agree that it's a laudable record, but Kalani is lauding his record. The point I make, so that the Bahamian people are not misled by my junior, is simply this. Kalani is lauding his record. Now, his record, the rest of them have no record other than Kalani's record. And the fact that they don't understand that and acknowledge it shows the Bahamian people what their judgment is. And so Kalani is lauding and defending his record. And I don't agree with him, but he is doing it robustly, and we always see him doing it robustly. He throw his rock and he leave. But he is defending his record, and the point that I make, so that St. Anne's can be clear and learn this final lesson from me, is that if this is my man under whom I served, because East Grand Bahama served under him, East Grand Bahama served under him, Marcos City served under him, St. Barnabas served under him, Long Island served under him, Central Grand Bahama served under him. All I'm saying, Madam Speaker, is they should have enough respect for the man who gave them life, not to do that to him. And it's as simple as that. And as the old people say, Madam Speaker, how could you bite the hand that feeds you? And you know, Kalani won't do it, you know, because Kalani have too much class to do it. But St. Barnabas sitting next to him, he gave you the job, man. Why you ain't stand up for him? He gave you the job. You ain't stand up for him. You let them put him down.
You need to stand up for the police and make sure the police
And
are there.
I do that every day.
Members,
I do that every day. Stop deflecting. Stand up for the man. Stand up for the man who stood up for you. And stop running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away, St. Barnabas. But you can't run away from yourself. That's what Bob Marley say. You can't run away from yourself. Why you ain't running in St. Barnabas? Why you ain't running in St. Barnabas?
Members.
We look at the minister and pay the police.
You're running and you're running and you're running away, St. Barnabas.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I never dreamt that just talking about successes that occurred while I was Prime Minister would cause such great debate. But while you're at it, and I only have a few minutes left.
He's an inch, man.
While you're at it, I want to add in there the airport at the Berry Islands and the dump fire that was a plague. Yeah, the dump. There was a plague in this New Providence and could have possibly been a hindrance to the development of Bahama. We resolved that also. But, Madam Speaker, before I close, I just want to answer the member. He said how well they did in terms of opening up post-Dorian, not Dorian, COVID. But, Maud, in spite of you leaving in place 100,000 people vaccinated when you took over, PPEs were present, medical facilities improved, medical care improved, vaccinations were present, medication was then available, which were not available during our time. More deaths occurred under you. With all the medication. Madam Speaker, I'm not going to get in that debate today, but I see the member for Pine Ridge. She left. She left. I wanted to deal with her today. I don't want to do three. I don't want to do three debates. I want to strangle three one time. Not just one. But Madam Speaker, Galani supports, not literally, Galani supports the resolution.
Thank you, honourable member. As many